Welcome into Extra Time. Alexis Nunes here with Stevie, Frank, and Jules still hanging with us. Let's get right into these questions. Hopefully there's not many Liverpool ones because Stevie's rattled. You're rattled.
I'm annoyed.
You're annoyed?
Aye.
With me or Liverpool? Let's be honest. Just let me have a moment, Stevie. It's not often I get these moments. All right, first question from Anders. Was Dani Carvajal in the right to approach Lamine Yamal post-match to confront him about talking too much about Real Madrid? Jules, what do you think?
I just think it was inevitable. Really, you knew at the end of the game this would happen. It was a very feisty game. There was a lot of tension from the beginning. It was a tight game still. And that you knew at some point, especially if Real Madrid won that game, that they would come after Lamine, whether you agree or not, whether you like it or not. And we discussed it a bit on the show before. Certainly the boys, Macan, everybody discussed it too. Whether you like it or not, for me, this was inevitable, especially after the way Real Madrid won. To see Vini, to see Carvajal go after Lamine, and Lamine responding, to be fair. And this is what we're going to have for the next 10 years or so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's interesting to see this one because even Frankie de Jong came out after the game and said, look, both of them are teammates on the national team. Surely, especially as one of the more senior players in Dani Carvajal, you pull the young man aside and talk in private. You don't make a big show of it on the pitch, Stevie.
Unfortunately, that's the very sensible adult approach. However, when a game of football is started, then all bets are off. And as soon as that final whistle goes, there are all kinds of things going through your head. And considering what Yamal said, I have no problem with Dani Carvajal just quietly reminding him to keep his trap shut in future.
Yeah, you weren't a fan of what Lamine Yamal said.
No, it's so stupid. You know, football players don't need any more encouragement to go after the opposition.
It's a big Clásico.
Don't be stupid. And I'll tell you what, his manager should sit him down and say, right, if you didn't believe me, because I'm assuming he's had to have told him about speaking out.
Yeah.
But he should sit him down on Monday morning and show him the end of the game and just point the finger and say, you're responsible for the majority of that.
Exactly.
And try and get the point over to Yamal to just keep your mouth closed, do all your talking on the field, and everything will be a lot easier.
Frank?
Yeah, no, I agree with the guys. I mean, Lamine Yamal is very young. Maybe he's inexperienced in that matter. Even if I don't think so, I think he was looking for that. But if you're a Real Madrid player, you say, well, you know what? What I feel inside me before a game like that will be 10 times bigger because I want to make sure that I'm going to shut his mouth. And I'm going to tell him after the game. And it's always been like that. With all due respect to Lamine Yamal, with all his talent, Dani Carvajal, even if he's a teammate, I'm going to tell him. And it would have been the same with Thierry Henry, with me playing for Monaco and me playing for Marseille or Strasbourg, or you're playing in Europe with Chelsea against Monaco and the young Thierry Henry opening his mouth, and I would have played with him like 15 days after with the national team, and I would have gone to him at the end of the game and say, well, Thierry, you know what? Shut up. But Thierry was smart enough to have never done that because he knew it doesn't help your team. It doesn't help your team. It doesn't help your image. I think Lamine Yamal made a mistake, and he paid for that.
Yep, indeed. Next question, shall we? Although I do love it when there's some fireworks. It's still Clásico. We need someone talking out of turn. At least for us in the media. We live for it. Next question, though. What is Liverpool's biggest challenge in the back line? What caused it, and how would the panel fix it? Stevie, let's start with you. You look perplexed.
How long we got?
Oh, as long as we need.
You can go along the four along the back and question everything they're doing. And the only thing that would make a difference is changing it. But who are they going to change it with? Joe Gomez, who's been out for forever.
Yeah.
So you get on the training field and you try and get some sort of cohesion together. And if it means you're there at 9 in the morning till 9 at night to work on certain things so that you actually become one, which they previously were, this time last year, they absolutely were one. Now they're absolutely all over the shop. So the only thing you can do when you can't change the personnel is get out and start working with them. Nothing else is going to change it. It's not. You don't get a wee magic wand just before the kick-off and you sprinkle it on everybody and all of a sudden everyone's all right. It's called hard work and it's called getting on the training field and doing it that way. That's where you do it. That's where it comes from.
Frank?
Yeah, well, you know what? They didn't lose the talent that they had last season and the mojo that they had. It didn't vanish like that. So it's all about working week in, week out, all together, also psychologically, working together to know that everybody depends on the others. And it's what happened last season. It's what happened every time Liverpool won a title. It's because they worked hard together and they were trying to help each other, which is not the case right now. The individuals, they're not a team, they're not even a squad, and it's why they fall apart. And that's what it is in football. And it's what they have to find back. But as Stevie said, it's only working every day during training session that you could see the change in the weekend.
You know, in my time, and I think Frank's time was pretty similar, when you had a situation like that, Ronnie Moran would turn around to us and say, it's about time you lot went for a beer, innit? Because you can sort, you know, people always laughed at us when we said, how do you sort things out? And we said, we'll go for a beer. And they'd be like, yeah, oh yeah. But it actually works. Well, because what happens is everybody starts off very quiet and you have a little beer, and then when you're 2 or 3 down, people start talking, and then you start really...
You get it out.
You get everything out, and when you've got a problem with somebody, you get it out, and then what happens is it galvanises you. So that you may still make some mistakes, but when it galvanises you, somebody's going to be there to cover up your mistake. And because of that, you reciprocate and you do the same. So when you get a back four who are all covering each other's backside, when the mistake comes along, or a little error in possession or position and whatever it is, that's the start. That's the start. Yes, you go on the field and you train and you practice things, but you need a togetherness. You need 4 guys looking after each other's back. And once you get that, it's amazing the difference how defenders respond to it.
Stevie, they don't drink anymore. They don't smoke. They don't party. They go home and they play PlayStation. Yes, but they don't have the fighting spirit that we had. We were drunk, but we had that fighting spirit.
Well, we need to start then. There you go.
Oh, the game's gone. But you know what? Jules always has everybody's number. Jules, I don't know if you have Virgil van Dijk's number to call him up, so when he has another crisis meeting, he should probably do it in one of the many pubs in Liverpool.
Yeah, no, I agree with the boys. I also think that there's a structure to find now, right balance to find for Arne. So we can look at the back four, of course, and rightly so. But this Liverpool team has been too open at times, really too open. It's been basketball games, and this is not how you win games certainly not in the Premier League. So whether you sort out your midfield first as well as your back four, whether you go and sign another defensive midfielder in January, another centre-back in January, maybe, but January is in another 2 months. So you still have all of November, all of December to go through. So work with these players to find the right balance, the right structure as well.
All right, shall we go to the next question, because it's back to El Clásico. While the result was 2-1, Madrid completely dominated Barcelona. Do you think Madrid will capitalize on this and play better from this point onwards?
Well, if there's one thing winning a big game like this does, is it pushes you forward in terms of believing. And so when you've got 11 guys stepping on the field who believe that they're the best, we're going to show we're the best, then absolutely, it just pushes you forward, no question.
Yeah, and it helped that they lost every single Clásico to Barcelona last season, Frank, but now they finally broke that streak. That must be mentally such a good thing.
Yeah, that's a turn of event for them, and psychologically it will bring so much confidence and hope for the rest of the season. And even if they are big stars and they know their football, they know that working together very hard will bring them something. Today they were, especially defensively, they were good. Well, they wasn't dominating the game like Rohit Kamat is saying, because Barca had most of the time the ball, but they were solid. They were working all together, and in a Clásico, it's always about details. And I guess they sorted out more details than Barcelona did. So it will bring something special to the merengue for sure.
Jules, you see Madrid getting better and better now?
Yeah, I think they have to, but I mean, the same way that they were not too down when they got smashed by Atletico, and if you think about it, they reacted quite well to that heavy defeat. They can't get too carried away either by this win. It was better collectively, certainly, especially in the first half from what we've seen before, where really Mbappe has been carrying this team through the season so far. So let's keep building that collective strength, but don't get carried away either, because there's still a lot of things to work on.
All right, pushing on to the next question, which I think Stevie's going to absolutely love. Percentage chance that Manchester United finish above Liverpool. You guys may have laughed off this question the other day, but surely it's a serious debate to be had now, considering how poor Liverpool is. Let me just say, I did not send this question in.
Well, if you want to be really...
You should answer, Alexis.
No. If it's one thing, I may be a Manchester United supporter, but I am realistic and I'm very pessimistic.
If you want to be really rational about this,
Yeah.
and take the red glasses or the red shirt or whatever you wear,
If it's one thing
and
we
just
are,
look
it's rational.
at it, Manchester United can't get much better. Liverpool are a mile off what they're capable of. So right now, you have to say that United will not finish above Liverpool.
Ooh, Frank, what do you think? Manchester United can't get much better?
I'm quite like Stevie, even if I think that what I see changing is the way that they work together. Where before they were more like individuals, you know, being playing a part from the others. The last game and the game before, I found that there was a fighting spirit that I didn't see for a while at United. So there are hopes for the fans, but I think we're still far away from the top. And like Arsenal, like I guess Liverpool's going to come back, even Tottenham getting better. Hopefully Chelsea is going to get better, hopefully. But at the end of the day, I think I'm quite surprised with what I see with Manchester United, because I didn't expect to see them being that good, I would say.
Jules?
I would love to say for you, Alexis, that United would finish above Liverpool, but I'm sorry, I have to go with the boys. I still think they are a little bit behind. They are improving. Certainly, there's a lot of things, even through data that we see and stats that we see, that are better than last season or the season before. I still don't think they belong to that top of the Premier League just yet.
Listen, I wasn't saying I agreed with it, you know.
But you do.
No, I definitely do. If Manchester United finish above Liverpool this season, I'm taking everybody out for dinner and you can order whatever you want. Nothing is off limits. Remember that, I said that here.
Okay.
Don't you worry about that.
I'm changing my mind.
You can have the dinner, I'll have the beer.
Yeah, we
You'll
won't
have the
forget.
beer.
Yeah.
Oh, cheap date. That's fine, though. That's fine. I know Frank Jules is also a cheap date because he only drinks water, but Frank will be ordering that champagne. That much I do know.
Oh, yes, it would be champagne. It would be champagne, but I have to tell you, be careful with Stevie, because I went out with Stevie. Stevie doesn't eat. He only drinks. So be careful. The amount of beer will be really above your expectancy.
All right, maybe I shouldn't have even offered dinner. I should have just offered drinks.
Start saving now.
Okay, all right. Well, that means that you expecting United to finish ahead of Liverpool.
No, I think you just need to cover your bases.
Okay, fair. All right, I love that. Next question. How should Xabi Alonso handle Vini Jr.'s public dissent at him being substituted? Stevie, you hated seeing this.
I absolutely think... I always hate... And I always talk against it when a manager publicly criticises one of his players. But there is always the exception, and this is the time to do it. Particularly after you win. Absolutely, he has to publicly tell everybody that this behaviour is unacceptable for a Real Madrid football player, and leave it. And make sure the message is clear. And it's obvious who we're talking about. You don't even have to name them.
Yeah.
You just come out and say, I will not be putting up with this behaviour from any of my players. This is unbecoming of a Real Madrid footballer. We're not about that. We're about class. That to me is how you handle it, and you absolutely put it in the press.
Frank?
Yeah, I agree with the public side of it. but internally, in the dressing room, I will put Vinicius Jr. in front of his axe, in front of the others. And I will say, you know what? That's the first time and the last time. What you showed today, you showed selfishness, and on top of it, you say to the world that you don't understand why Rodrigo comes in because you're much stronger in your head than him. So you didn't respect your teammate, you don't respect the dressing room, you don't respect my decision, so I want you to apologize in front of your teammates. Because that's impossible, it's unforgivable what you've done and you showed to the world. Because yes, you have talent, yes, you're a big player, but you belong to a squad. So you respect the others. So apologize to Rodrigo, please.
Wow, name them and shame them. That's the Frank Leboeuf way. Jules, you want to chime in?
Yeah, but the only thing that I find even more disappointing is this is not the first time this season. And I would have expected already Xabi Alonso to maybe have the words with Vinicius about his behavior when he's not starting or when he's coming off before the 90th minute, before the end of the game. And yet he does it again in the biggest game of all games in the whole world. And that's why I'm really disappointed in Vini, because I thought Vini had gone past that, really.
Yeah.
Clearly not. Did you bench him for the next game? Is there a fine coming? Probably a bit of that as well. I think sometimes that's the way players understand.
Yeah, one thing that we've been applauding Xabi for is his man management up until this point. So I guess we will see how that pans out. Next question, probably too premature, but does Arne Slot have enough equity to last the entire season, even if the slide at Liverpool continues?
Yes.
Please, come on.
Yeah, leave him alone. Leave him alone.
We'll nip that one in the bud then.
This is good. Hedgesh has to be a Man United fan. Has to be.
This is Alexis' question.
Has to be.
Everton, the Toffees.
Yeah.
Jules, what about you? What do you think? Because you're the actual journalist here that has the ears on the ground. How much equity do you think he does have? If this Liverpool slide continues.
Plenty. He's got nothing to worry about. The club is definitely behind him 100%. This is a bad patch for sure, but he's going to work things out. They're going to get much better. They're going to finish high in the league. And there's no worry for him to have about his job at all. But there's work to do, for sure. And last season was a marvelous season on every level for him. And now he just, has to go down to work and make it work.
Hey, see, this is the thing. People forget.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago that Liverpool almost never got in the top 4 to qualify for the Champions League with Klopp. I didn't hear anybody asking for Klopp to be sacked if they didn't get the top 4 or anything like that. So
but now you've tasted success. You've tasted success back to back to back.
Well, Klopp did the same. He won the Champions League and the league, and then almost didn't qualify for the Champions League. You wouldn't have sacked him, would you?
Yeah, but Stevie, a year ago, I would say it started a year ago, maybe a little bit later, November, December, everybody agreed that Liverpool was the best team in the world and would win everything. Everything. The four titles. And they collapsed. I have to say they collapsed regarding to what they were capable of doing. And you have to agree with me that the Champions League, the FA Cup, how do you say, Charity Shield, whatever, no, not Charity Shield, the other one, the League Cup. They didn't achieve anything, Carabao Cup. They dropped. For the past 4 or 5 months of the Premier League, they started to drop. So it's been more than almost a year that we don't recognize the Liverpool that we have seen. Yeah. So there is something, well, he has all the equity that he needs to stay. But I would be the board, I would say, man, okay, but you have to work hard. You have to do something because for a while, we are not recognizing what Klopp was doing at the end and what you did for the first 5 months. So that has to be back.
You agreed with him there.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, the Champions League exit was sort of the start of the slide. You lose the FA Cup because you play your resis. Carabao's a bit the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess if you really look at it, the worry would be that as bad as the start's been, it actually did start. I wouldn't go far as back as say 5 months towards the end of the season, but the last what, 9 weeks? weren't good.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be the real concern.
Jules, you had a final thing to say on this?
No, I agree. Yeah, I agree with the boys. And again, it'd be very interesting to see, what happens. He was bold, I think, and brave enough to drop Mo Salah, for example, in the Champions League game, the 2 Champions League games, and put him on the bench. Let's see what happens. For example, now they play in the League Cup, and then they will have the league, and then the Champions League again next week. So there's 4 games to come in the space of just 2 weeks or so. So there's a lot of football to be played. Not much time to work on the training ground, but he needs something now.
All right, final question now. This one, sorry, Jules, but it's for Stevie and Frank. You'll understand why. If someone recognizes you from your playing days, are they more likely to mention a great play that you made or a mistake?
Well, it depends where you go.
Liverpool, a great play.
If I go to Liverpool, then yes, great play. Anytime I ever go to Scotland, the first thing anybody ever says to me is, "Oh, remember you missed that chance against." I'm like, "Oh, cheers, thanks." So it does. It depends where you go. Scotland, pelters.
Yeah.
Liverpool, pats on the back.
Pats on the back, indeed. Frank, what about you? Let me guess. For France, it was definitely all the great plays, but for Chelsea, mistakes?
Oh, no. For France, I did horrible mistakes with Marseille against Paris Saint-Germain. And once a month, somebody sent me a video with me giving a fantastic assist to Ronaldinho, scoring a goal at home at the Velodrome against us. It's part of it. People they tease. I live in Paris and I was the captain of Marseille. So once in a while, I have somebody, reminding me one of the mistakes that I made. But I remember going to Newcastle as well, and I tried to put the ball with my head to my goalkeeper, and I think Alan Shearer got it and scored. So sometimes, you go there and say, "Well, thank you for the assist, Frankie." And I say, "Well, don't mention it, but that's details. That details. We have to look at the big picture. But we made mistakes. We're only humans."
Jules, when you recognize Frank, do you remind him of his mistakes for France or any great plays?
Never.
He's your legend.
He's my friend. I know exactly. I remind him of the World Cup final.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's my brother.
Frenchies unite. Frenchies unite. I only remind Stevie of his great plays for Liverpool, even though I wasn't born when they were going on. But I do have black and white video.
It was a real lack of sincerity there.
I was trying to tee up something.
I mean, of all the weekends to be 2 days in a row with you.
Just
I mean, how unlucky is that?
Just let me have 2 happy days. I've not had 2 happy days
No, you've had
in
2
a row.
happy days. I've not.
Well, that's true. But you know what? Everything in seasons, everything in seasons. All right, that's it for Extra Time. Thanks, guys, and thanks to everyone for sending in your questions. The good news is we will be back on ESPN FC tomorrow to look back at all the action on the weekend, plus the La Liga game on ESPN, plus Real Betis, Atletico de Madrid. Join us.